From a very young age, I struggled with my self-confidence. I struggled with having strong self-esteem, primarily because I didn't know how to identify myself. I'm very blessed. I'm really happy that I have the wonderful opportunity to tell people I'm part Black, I'm part Hawaiian. But when I was little, I didn't know how to identify. I didn't know how to be one or the other. I didn't know how to be both. And I struggled with that. And I believe because of that, I was really self-conscious, low self-esteem, really lacked self-confidence because I didn't really understand who I was. I was very insecure, constantly dealing with low self-esteem and always on a quest to prove myself, to show that I was somebody important, to show that I was somebody of value. I got married at the age of 21, and at 22, I found myself separated from my first husband at that time. We had been married barely a year, and I had just given birth to our daughter a few weeks prior. I was battling with postpartum depression, dealing with a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt, and the pain of a broken marriage. As a young couple, we barely even understood what it meant to love each other, much less even be married. And so he was running around feeling like he got married too soon, and I was constantly needing his affection, needing his attention. We were constantly arguing, fighting, and I was always emotional, always nitpicking on every little thing, pointing out everything he was doing wrong, and complaining about everything that wasn't making me happy. And in the midst of that, driving him further and further away. But it really came down to the root that I wasn't happy and I wasn't clear about who I was, because I still didn't recognize that I was somebody of value and of somebody of great worth, and I didn't have to settle for that. Even when we were together, we were still so far apart, and basically at this time just yearning to be out of the drama. So much so that the night I was in labor giving birth to our daughter, he was out with another woman and flaunting it in front of my family. I was definitely searching at this point, trying to find answers. What was I doing wrong? How do I fix it? How do I make it better? How do I get out of this? It hurt too much. And it was in this time, I remembered back when I was 19, and a few friends of mine had invited me to attend Word of Life Christian Center. I really liked it. I even came back a few more times, but I didn't make a really true heart connection. And so as a result, I just went back to doing what I had been doing and living the way I had been living. It was actually one morning I was happened to be flipping through the channels, and when I flipped the channel, I saw Pastor Art, and I saw the Word of Life program, and immediately that brought me back to remembrance of when I visited there, and everything in my heart said, that's where you need to be, that's where you need to go, that's where you're going to get what you're looking for. So on Sunday, December 1st, 1996, I went to church, and the one thing I remember was from Philippians chapter 3, verse 13, where it mentions about forgetting what lies behind and pressing forward to what lies ahead. And that I knew was the key for me to get my breakthrough. When they gave the altar call, I came running to the front, tears streaming down my face, because I was so hungry for what God had for me. And I was so ready to let go of my past and so ready to press forward to what God had ahead for me. That day, I committed my life to Christ 100%, And since then, I've never looked back. I knew in my heart, without a doubt, I needed to make Word of Life my home church because it gave me hope during a very dark time in my life. I started attending church regularly. Then I learned about the classes that Word of Life offered. It was in the classes that I began to learn on a personal level how to apply the messages I was hearing each and every week. This helped me to not only know the Word, but it taught me how to live the Word, not just having a head knowledge, but having a heart knowledge. You know, Pastor Kuna often says that the heart regulates the hands, and it's so true. The more that my heart captured the understanding of God's Word for myself, the more I desired to be engaged in what God was doing in the house. And I didn't want to miss out on anything that He had to offer. One of the most important things I realize now is the value of purposely connecting myself to this church. I did that through serving, through getting into a life group, and just everything else that the church had to offer. I was able to build relationships with really amazing leaders, and they helped me to grow in my walk with God. It was also while serving that I met my current husband, Stan, a mighty man of God who really helped me to learn and to see that it's possible to love again. He truly demonstrated unconditional love and showed me what it was to have God's love alive and happening in my own life. Word of Life has taught me the value of living a radical life for Jesus, having that lifestyle that's really rooted and grounded in God and in His Word, which is helping to change me from the inside out, so that I can in turn help encourage others so that they too will experience His love, God's love.